a little bit better or different with this. Oh my God, my whole thing is showing. Okay. This is going to happen. Oh my God. Okay, let's see how this looks. Okay, now this is going to be a hot mess. Just letting you know, folks. Just letting you know this is going to be a hot mess. I do have an iPad, not an iPad, but a stand coming. Let me move this a little bit. Not too close. Hello, Joshua. How are you? How are you, Joshua? Thanks for being here. Thanks for being here. I do appreciate it. Let's see if this can keep it together. How are you? Hello, Files. Hello, Files. Welcome in. Welcome in. Ooh. Yes, you are the first, Joshua. Yes, you are. Hello, Ron. How are you? How are you? The subwoofers or whatever you had going on over there. I'm over there like, what shape are they supposed to be? I didn't, not shape, Wanda, but the condition that they're in, that type of shape. But yeah, welcome in, everyone. Welcome in, everyone. I'm just a little bit a touch early because I want to get myself set up with this new iPad that I have. I want to talk a little bit before I get into it. I got a new iPad, and normally I just use my machines, my other machine, my laptops, and what have you to do my lives. The other iPad I had, I'm giving it to my granddaughter. So the little mini that I had, I'm giving it to her. And that's pretty much what I was using the iPad for, was to do the silent lives, etc., that type of way. But that is going to be going to her. And now I got this new one. And yeah, I'll be doing some silent lives on this one too, but some live lives also in too. So I'm learning how to do all this stuff. And the messages are going in and out, in and out. And they're coming in and then they're going another way. And I guess I'll figure out how to do that so that they stay. Let me see what this does. Probably boot me out of here. I don't know. Messed up. I don't touch something and messed up. But hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday. One more day left. One more day left before the weekend, folks. Before the weekend. And yes, here we are. What is the title? I do this every time. Speak up and speak up for yourself. I watch this show and I try to watch it every morning. Most mornings I am faithful at doing it, even if I come in a little bit late. Please don't forget to hit the like button, folks, while you're here. Please don't forget to hit the like button. Please don't forget to hit the like button. Called C-SPAN, I am sure that you all are familiar with it. And the show that comes on at 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time here is called the Washington Journal. Of course, I'm in Maryland, close to DC, but C-SPAN is all over, etc., because the show is paid for by the satellite companies, etc., etc. And they have a whole host of shows, C-SPAN 1, 2, 3, maybe 4, 5, and 6, but at least I know 1, 2, and 3. They do, they have people come on, authors come on, and people are talking to them about their book, a whole host of stuff. Everything that happens in the Congress and the Senate hearings, etc., anything that goes on, it is on C-SPAN most of the time live. The live stuff that happens in the Senate and in the House of Representatives does happen on C-SPAN. You can go and find it on C-SPAN, and you can go back to their archives and get and find any episode of all the things that you want to. So this morning I was watching, and of course this is March. Women's History Month, or Women's International History Month, however you want to phrase it, but Women's History Month is this month, and today's topic was, that's not it, Wanda, for women only. The first 45 minutes hour was for women only to call in your top issue and campaign 2024. And I wrote down some of the things that some of the callers called in to talk about, and I want to go over that briefly and then move on. So the host opened up, and it was a lady that was hosting it this morning. Quinnipiac poll, I guess it must have been recent, maybe yesterday or something, another like that, said that 58% of the women that they polled was for Biden, and 36% was for Trump. And what she was reading or telling, etc., on the show, she did not say, and maybe the article did, but she did not say what party affiliation of the people that were polled and how many were polled. Maybe it was in the report, but that was not mentioned during the time that she had. So the first caller, she said, the stuff that the Republicans are doing, Trump climate change and the farmers. The second person, now the second person, and this is where it speak up for yourself. And sometimes, and people that share my reflection will understand this. And I think it can go both ways, talking black and white. When someone is on the phone, sometimes we try to say, oh, that sounded like a black person, or that sounded like a white person. So this person that called in, she did not sound like she shared my reflection. Not trying to be racial, but she did not sound as though she shared my reflection. But that does not mean that she does not share my reflection. And then a later caller called in and say, no, this woman, she does not sound like a black woman. It was crazy. It was crazy there for a moment. But anyway, the lady that called in, the second caller said that it was the economy and immigration that were her top issues, etc. And she went on about people hating Trump and a whole host of things with regards to that. The next person that called in said that it was men telling women what to do with their bodies. Now, when she called in, she did not say anything about the A word, which I'm not going to mention here. She did not say anything about that. And then the host said, "So are you talking about reproductive rights?" And she never said yes or no or what have you. But yeah, interesting. I'm talking speak up and speak up for yourself. If that's what you mean, then say that is exactly what you are talking about, so that even though the host, hello Lisa, hello, even though the host said you're talking about reproductive rights, maybe she was, maybe she wasn't. Just say what it is that you are saying when you're calling into these shows, because people are listening. Hello, Mr. McNuggets. Hello, Lisa Stocks. How are you? How are you? The next person was about our deficits and good character. So she was talking about Trump having bad character. The next person agree agree with caller number 3 about the Trump voters, etc., immigration and the economy, the debt, Social Security and retirement age. And there has been some talk going on with regards to that real briefly, and I think it kind of sort of been put to the side. But please make sure that you are listening out to the political news, especially with regards to any and everything that's going on, because it does affect you. If you're out here paying taxes, you are out here working a job, you are out here, you and your children, college, etc., all of that stuff impacts you. And people trying to raise the Social Security age on, some of the folks. So I'm sure that they're going to have an age where, okay, well, we're not going to bother with these people because in the next 10 years or 15 years, they're going to retire. But, and I'm sure that you all that are out here listening and focusing and paying attention hear this a lot. They will always throw up the Social Security retirement age. We are going to, elevate it, increase the age, etc. Reproductive rights. She said she didn't want her daughter or herself or no man telling them what to do with their bodies. Women's rights, civil rights. And what does that mean, civil rights? Does it mean women's civil rights, or just does it mean civil rights? What does it mean? One person called in and said religious group harming men and women. And then she went on to talk about Roe v. Wade. In my opinion, just listening to the conversations that were being had on the show, I think the most she wanted to say the Roe v. Wade thing was her particular issue, but she had to crouch it in religious groups wanting to harm, etc. And I'm old enough, and nothing against any of the folks that call in, but in this particular case, I'm old enough and ugly enough to know that she was talking about the A thing and Roe v. Wade, and it's being turned over, or it was turned over, etc. By etc. by the Supremes last year sometime, etc. So don't say it's religious groups. Are you talking about the folks on the Supremes did that, or your Congress people not doing what they should have done before it got to the Supremes? I'm talking about the Supreme Court, etc., etc. So before something get to the Supreme Court, we have our Congress that's supposed to be, passing laws, etc. Or if it's something in your state, but that's a whole nother thing. One person talked about vaccinations, some vaccinations that aren't required for school, that they are being made to take these particular vaccinations. I don't know what she was talking about. Of course, she said about the school, so in her particular place. And when the people call in, they give the state that they're calling from, and some people go on to tell their name, what particular city they're calling in from. They may shout out their senator, the congressperson, etc. And the last person that I saw, and then they started to do the twirling thing. The children of the world was her issue, and that Trump separated families at the border. So if you're okay, let's keep on, keep on. So in all of this, and with regards to the topic, speak up and speak up for yourself. And I get it. This is a show that comes on, and it comes on from 7 to 10 in the morning, and unless Congress is coming in sooner or etc., they do their thing, and they have different topics every day. They have the open forum where you can call in and talk about pretty much any topic that you want to, and sometimes they assign a topic also into. So you get people calling in, and it's a good little thing to get kind of sort of an idea of what people out here in the country are thinking, some of them, and they may align or may not align with your thoughts on any particular thing, and it is just interesting. And this is what I do, and maybe I'm a little jaded because I'm a little bit too close to these places, to DC here. I listen to some of the folks, and I'm thinking, okay, this sounds like a certain particular race of person. Not trying to get racial, but I have to go there for this particular case. They sound this, then other, and then based on whatever the conversation is and some of the thing, the topic that is being talked about, and the conversation that what it is that they are saying, and I was like, okay, well, this person probably maybe married, has a spouse at work, and maybe in the conversation you find out that they don't work, that they're taking care of the kids, etc., and maybe you find out that they're doing well, etc. Now that doesn't look like me, you, or the next person maybe, but it is what it is. And then sometimes when we get a whole lot of these voices, some of the other voices may not get a moment to get in there. Like people at work, people are at work from 7 to 10 in the morning, and they're not out here trying to call into C-SPAN every 30 days to give their thoughts, ideas, or opinions. You can get on social media. I think Twitter and Facebook. Twitter and Facebook, and you can text in information. That's how you can reach them on social media, besides calling in on your phone or the landline. I did write that down also too. But yeah. So sometimes we have, like I said, this is just onesies or twosies of the people that are calling in, giving you their thoughts, their opinion, their ideas with regards to something. Hello, Netta's Nest. It was good seeing you today on your live. Good seeing you today on your live. Giving their thoughts and opinions and ideas about whatever topic they're talking about. And most of the time, once again, everything is political. So yeah, they're talking about that. So sometimes, whether we know it or not, we may be letting other people speak for us, and it may not be a good thing when we look back on it many years later, or even sometimes maybe in the very after they say something that 6 or 7 months or a year or two goes by, and that would be recent past for me, that it did not serve the community well. And I'm kind of going to go a little bit big picture. Did not serve the community well. The community that shares my reflection. What they were talking about may have not served the community well. Maybe we have to be careful, in my opinion, we have to be careful about when we are calling people allies and what have you, because when we're calling people allies and what have you, how has that helped the community or the people that share my reflection? How has that really served or helped us in any grand way? Sometimes we have thought leaders, activists, people that are supposed to be for the community, and really they aren't for the community. Once a few dollars may have been dangled in front of them, they went another way, but they kept talking the same talk to us, because sometimes we are emotional about things, etc., when we should not be, because that's not serving our political that's not serving us well politically. That's not serving us well politically. And I know that some people may or may not do electoral politics. They may not vote. They may not care about it. They may vote sometimes, maybe just in the presidential, maybe just in the senatorial, maybe just in their local races, etc. It is what it is. But, we just have to be careful who it is that we are aligning with, or say that we are aligning with, and that these other groups have our best interests. Like, we share a lot of things in common. We come from poverty. We were enslaved along. These people were also in too, and everyone else has gotten their reparations, and we have not gotten our reparations, etc. There's just a whole lot of things to look. You just can't be aligning yourself with anyone just because they kind of sort of speak the same language as you do, not language as in uh, speech, that type of way. But just because they're saying the same things that you are, and you can identify with that, etc., does not mean that they are in your camp, etc. And um, when this is just something that I noticed when, sadly, when the George Floyd thing happened, there was a lot of people that out there protesting, and they were out there rightfully protesting. And then I saw a lot of people that did not share my reflection that was out there protesting also and too. Now, this is me and my brain. Okay, are these trust fund babies? I don't know. I don't know. I'm just saying this is just my brain and how it goes sometimes. Yeah, are these trust fund babies? I mean, they have time to do this, and even the other folks out there, did they have time to do this? Not to put it all to that. Some people made the time, and I'm not going to go there. That's a whole nother topic within itself. Are these trust fund babies? Are these the trust fund babies that just didn't have anything else to do? Are these the trust fund babies that, okay, I'm going to go out here, like I'm with you. I hear that should have not happened, and I get it. There are a lot of them that is and probably was the reason that they were doing it. They have valid and good reasons. I'm not trying to cast any aspersions to what they were doing uh, in that particular instance, etc. But were some of them out there just so that they could say, okay, I was out there and I went to protest? That's something good for them to say. I was in a protest, along with a lot of folks that share my reflection, and then they get to go back to, being a trust fund baby, etc. So beyond just people, being there for you for the protests, the rallies, the marches, and all of that good stuff. They need to be there with you, and if they have the means, i.e., the trust fund babies, the folks that have the means, the money, the resources, the time, the energy, the connects. They know people, their parents know people, they know people, their parents know people, and friends of a friend of a friend of a friend of a friend. They know that type of thing that can get policy enacted to help people that share my reflection in the way and in the things that we need the assistance with. That's speak up, and speak up for yourself. When you speak up, yeah, speak up, like, hey, can you help me with such and such and such? I appreciate your being out here protesting with me, but can you help me with this and this? If you know that these people are trust fund babies and they are connected, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And you may not know that. And when we go, a lot of us may or may not go into the different rooms where these people are that, have the means, etc., that have the connects, that have the resources, etc. We may not be in the rooms. We just may not be in the rooms. And we have to be careful who it is that we are, once again, touting and saying that we're allied with them. They're my ally. We're here. We're seeing each other and all this other stuff because, yeah. Mm-mm. And beyond that, even with women, because we all share a whole lot of things in common. We're women. We're doing a lot of the caregiving when we have children. We're doing a lot of the work in the home, and we're emotional, and we just go through things monthly, and we have different health issues and a whole host of things that women, of course, but just by nature go through and what have you. And a lot of us do talk the same type of talk when it comes to women and women issues or what have you. That doesn't mean that the next person is on board with me, because I may be over here, a single mother and all this other stuff. And I get it. Sometimes people put themselves in situations, test case dummy here that did that. I get it. But you're over here, and even though you're a woman, and I see you on TV, and you're married, and you're living in a place that is safe, etc. I may be over here and not living in a place that's so safe. And I'm not saying I need you to come and rescue me or rescue the group or anything like that. But for me, I'm just going to be, that's me. I'm going to be a little bit mindful of that. Like, okay, if you are in a position, if you have a husband that's at home that is a politician or something other like that, then I need you to be advocating to me with your husband to get something done for the larger community over here that I am talking to you about. If we are allies and we are friends and all this type of stuff, and I know I may be talking in circles, I don't know. I don't know. It's just something else on my brain. So speak up and speak up for yourself. Don't let someone else uh, do the talking for you because they may not know the entire situation of a people, etc., or the entire situation of, in this case, women, etc. Because we know some of the folks that called into C-SPAN, and we see it ourselves that we have some men that are making policy and have been making policy for a long while with regards to women, and now we got some women that are over there in the Senate, not enough, whatever, if you doing all that, etc. And they are only one vote, etc. And if you really look at it, I don't know, and I haven't done this, but I'm just throwing this out there. If you look at it over the time, what have they done? And maybe they have done something. Like I said, I haven't looked at it, but just a question I am throwing out there, etc. So yeah, of course, as always, take the care of number one, that is you and your family, etc. Do not depend on the government or anyone to come in and rescue or take care of you. Once again, speak up and speak up for yourself, etc. But just some of the things that I know is we have to be careful about the ally stuff, etc. And like I mentioned before, over time, when people are out here talking, yeah, they are good, this and that type of coalition, what have you, and we see what's going on over there at the border, and voila, if you're really paying attention and you look at the handwriting on the wall, the people that share my reflection, we may be out of here. And some folks will say that we are out of here. Yeah, you've been replaced. You're fired, Trump. You kind of sort of been replaced. And all of the folks that have been talking about, yeah, we have they'll say the black and brown coalition going on, etc. And do we really? Do we really? If we look at it now, do we really? I would say no. I would say no. But yeah, I would say no. Speak up and speak up for yourself. Yeah. If we participate in electoral politics, no one here, I am not telling anyone who to vote for or to vote or anything like that. If you do participate in the electoral politics, etc., please make sure that your voting information is correct. I mentioned this yesterday and on other lives, etc. Please make sure that your information is correct if you plan on participating in the upcoming presidential election and all the other ones that local, your Senate, your state elections, and your senatorial elections. Make sure that your information with your state board of election is up to date. Name changes, you got married, you moved, make sure that information is correct so that when you go to your polling place, there aren't any issues. Yeah. Yeah, what else was I going to say? I wrote some notes down. Yeah, things are going and happening, and we see it. The stuff is right there in the news. We see it happening, and now what's going on in New York, and it's happening in other places too. But New York is a big city, so they get a lot of attention, big media place. So now others are being served, and the folks that were there already aren't. And of course, the taxpayers there are paying for it pretty much upfront. I get it. They get money from the government also into here and there. They've been asking for more because they need to subsidize what it is that the folks that are there, the illegal immigrants that are there. So yeah, you've been replaced. Your tax, it is a mess. So we have to be careful about calling people allies. And once again, the stuff started happening, and I'm old enough and ugly enough to remember when people were saying the black and brown coalition, etc. And this is where we are with that, folks. This is where we are with that. And if some of the folks that were saying that and kind of sort of not and pushing policy or doing a lot of the talking points, for that to happen, etc., and trying to say that, because we, of course, are in a different situation, and I'm talking about American descendants of slavery. and the folks that were enslaved here in these United States is a different situation than someone that is coming to your country legally or is immigrating legally into your country. It's a totally different thing, etc. So we can't just, people talking to us and getting us riled up emotionally is not serving us well, and it won't serve anyone well, because once you get emotion into something, and I get emotion has its place. Emotion has its place. Feelings has its place, and I always, just for me, I always say, the last time I had a feeling that type of way, I got pregnant. So no. Well, I'm well past that now, but yeah, sometimes the emotions and the feelings, they need to be, need to be put in checked and into perspective. Yeah, speak up and speak up for yourself. And yeah, when we are doing electoral politics, etc., if we are able to get into the rooms, get around these people, etc., or if you know a friend or a friend or friends, I'm another like that. Yes, Netta. We have to ask for something. People are out here, they're wanting our votes, they're coming to our churches, all this other hoopla. They're meeting us on the streets. They want us to show up to their things. They're doing virtual, town halls, etc. Or you're meeting them in their campaign office, back in their, when they come back to their home state, etc. All this other stuff. We have to ask for something and constantly ask for something. You can send a text, email, all this other stuff to your senator and your representative, etc. on the state and the federal level also, into asking for stuff, saying what's going on with this, this is what I want, this is what I want, this is what I want. But when you get a group of people, yeah, here they are knocking. Yes, I know, down there in Florida, I know, Texas, all of that stuff, California also went to. It's more, it is crazy. We have to ask for something instead of just freely giving our votes away. In this particular case, freely giving our votes away, we have to ask for something. And at this point, for me, in my brain, you have to, the ask has to materialize before I give you the vote, because we know what happens when we give the vote. They go on and they service and serve others, point blank. Old enough and ugly enough to know this, been here long enough to know this, like I said, old enough. So yeah, we have to take care of ourselves and our children that are coming behind us, and our grandchildren, etc. We have to ask. And also getting ourselves just personally back to the budget part of it, because the electoral politics is money. The electoral politics is money. Yes, period. Exactly. The electoral politics is money. You need to ask for something. People need to enact laws and policy. These laws and policy will cause money to come into your state, and hopefully they will do the right thing with it. But we have to ask for something, not just anything, something that is vital and critical to something that is going to help our community, big picture, and a lot of the people in our community, big picture, not just some random stuff, not something that's going to help everybody on the planet, all these other groups. No, because when they are in there negotiating for stuff, they're not thinking about anyone that shares my reflection. Trust and believe, trust and believe. Just me, trust and believe. I'll have another voter in the. Oh yes, is that your son that was had the avocados that was cooking up all that protein that day? Will he be the one that's going to be a new voter there? Okay, Netta. They're getting on up and out of there. Doesn't take long. Oh, don't blink. Don't blink. Oh, because but yeah, like I said, all the electoral stuff is political, it's money, and it's your money. You see your tax dollars going someplace that it shouldn't be. Case in point, the stuff that is happening in New York. What I understand, they're getting those debit cards or what have you. And they got homeless people in New York. They got homeless people here. That was the baby? Oh my goodness. Wow. It's a tall young man. I saw him twice in your video. I think that's the same one. Wow, that's the baby. uh, yeah. Take care of yourself. Speak up. And then it says, yeah, wow. Yeah, speak up and speak up for yourself. Speak up for yourself or your group. You know, and I know that people set up a lot of people are, I've been seeing a lot of things over a long period of time with regards to some of these folks in the community that share my reflection. Football player and wrestler. Wow. Wow. He plans on doing something with that football thing, Netta, you think? And what position? We could go a whole lot of different areas. What position? Tight end, corner, safety, anything like that? Because it seemed like he was tall and, you know, like a Deion Sanders type build in the earlier years of Sanders. And he's still in fine shape, uh, Mr. Sanders, Mr. Deion, Coach Sanders. Yeah. But yeah, back to the money pot. Yeah, we definitely, you know, this is a budgeting channel, so I am going to mention something about that. Of course, all along, we need to be taking care of ourselves, making sure we're, you know, managing our money properly, all this good stuff. And when I'm talking to you, like I mentioned, when I'm talking to you about these things, I'm saying it to myself also too, because I get off track sometimes and need to get back on track. Defensive end and linebacker are the positions. Okay, good, good. All righty. Oh no, I was trying to water. Yeah, but we have to make sure that we are getting our money together, getting our money right. Like I said, self included. That's why I'm trying to tuck away these dollars and, you know, doing a whole host of things. And I thank you, Ned and Ness, for doing those hauls, because that way I get to eat with my eyes, focusing on the snacks. Goodness knows I don't need it. But yes, yeah, making sure we're getting our stuff in one sock as best we can. And I know it is, I trust and believe, I know it is. It can be difficult. It can be difficult, but it can be done. It will take time. Like I always talk about the mindset shift changing, etc. And then sometimes, even for me, I just, you know, fall. If I got a few. Now, what I'm trying to do is, you know, get my all of this electronic stuff together because I got machines galore, and these two machines that I got here that are elderly. Uh, I don't know what happened with them the other day when I tried to do a live. It was just blacked out. And trust and believe, I removed the post-it that I got on there that's taped up there to hide the camera when I'm not doing anything. That had been removed and it just didn't do anything. All before it was working just fine. Maybe they were jealous because I got this new iPad. And like I said, when I'm using the iPad, this is a new one, but the mini that I had, it was just for do the silent live, so I wasn't doing a whole lot on it because I got 4 eyes already. But now I'm going to be using this one to do live lives and silent lives and see what happens with this one on my silent lives. But yeah, getting that money together, whoo, it is something. And Netta's been talking about it, and others have been talking about it. The prices at the grocery stores are crazy. And I don't know whether I'm going to do a live Netta, to answer your question. I know I answered it when we was on the live, that I didn't plan to do a live for the thing, and I probably won't do a live to, you know, to set up my boxing thing, which I should have done yesterday. And I know it's not going to happen tonight. Maybe it's something I can get some content on for tomorrow, Friday, or Saturday. Now, of course, my water isn't in here. Oh, of course not. But nonetheless, yes, the food prices are crazy. And I didn't upload my short. I got a short. When I went out on Wednesday, the gas at the non-big box gas station was $3.43. It was $3.35 the last time I went out, which was Sunday. Unacceptable, unacceptable. Just crazy, just crazy. Yeah, you're curious about that? Yeah, the hydroponics. Yeah, me too. This will be my first time doing it. I have seen, you know, some of the different gardeners over there doing it. Mike's Chaotic Gardening and Don't Hurt the Harvest. Don't Hurt the Harvest. I think she does that also in too. I know she has an outside garden. He has an outside garden also in too. But they had the hydroponics inside, and Don't Hurt the Harvest was saying that I was going to love it. So this is my first foray into the hydroponics things. Of course, when I was much younger, back in the country, I was living with my mom and dad. We had, gardens. Yeah, on both sides of the house we had a garden. So I was out there doing that type of thing. You have gas going up. Yes, it's just crazy. It is just crazy. It is just crazy. Oh, and with regards to the Francis Scott Key Bridge that, sadly collapsed, and they had the incident a few days ago. It was early Tuesday morning. I want to say early Tuesday morning, was it? I think so. The last report that I saw, and it could have changed since I saw it, was that they did find two bodies uh, today, or at some point today, I do believe. And yeah, and I think they're still searching for others. They said that they were looking for six. That was, right immediately after it happened. That number may have increased. I don't know. I just saw where they said that they had recovered two of the bodies. That is just sad. And yeah, yeah. Whew. Yeah. We're saying prayers to all the families, friends, associate, loved ones that are involved with the folks that are missing and are assumed or presumed to not be no longer here amongst the living. Yeah, it's just always something, always something. Yeah. And of course, there's stuff that's floating out here, and I'm not going to go off into that. I'm not going to go off into that. But yeah, speak up and speak up for yourself. We need to do that always. And even when we are just, or even when we are just with our girlfriends, we need to speak up even then, because we want to have healthy relationships. And if we find that we are, or we have a friend or are in a group of friends, because maybe you have a friend that maybe it's your BFF or someone that you have worked with, and you developed a relationship there, and then it may have moved on to, yeah, I know her, we've been associating outside of work, etc., that type of friend. But then there may be some friends within the friend group that you don't know that well, etc. And in a good way, and sometimes people may just be having a bad day, and they may say something that's off color, or maybe they didn't think something through well on a particular occasion or what have you. And then you get to decide, you get to read the room to see whether this person, maybe they're just tired or sleepy, or they just had a bad day or a bad week or something, and maybe they didn't mean this comment, or maybe they didn't think something through, like I mentioned before, and you let it pass. But if you kind of sort of see a pattern, and this person is way off base with their train of thought per you, then you may want to say something, because if that's going to be the case, and if it continues, if their thought pattern in your brain, if it continues and they're saying these things all the time, then it may be problematic for you. It may cause some type of stress for you. It may be affecting your mental, that this person is thinking this way. Then you need to say something. You need to protect your mental health at all costs possible. And another thing that you can do, if you don't want to say anything, is just limit your contact with the particular persons or persons that are causing you to have some type of stress or what have you. Or maybe you just need to get over it, because what you're thinking is not what it is, because you don't know that person that well, and you may not know their whole particular situation. But if we have to be mindful and careful about our mental health. If we keep going around it, and even if we don't know and it's problematic, limit your contact. Don't have any other contact, or just say what it is. We have to speak up, and speak up for ourselves, or speak up for our mental health also, into when we're dealing with, friends and family, etc. You don't want stuff to keep festering and festering and festering, because it will. It will. It will. And then you find yourself at a point where, you just don't want to be around toxic. Yes, I tell my BFF all the time, I got to protect my peace. And she finally gets it. Great. That is a good friend that gets it. And your relation and her relationship with you is more important than her being whatever it is that she was being with you. Yes, we just got to speak up for ourselves and speak out on the crazy, whatever it is that they are doing or saying. If this is some crazy man stuff, man hating, or they're talking about their job incessantly. Oh, I hate my job, I hate my job, I hate my job. Like, and you're telling them, okay, do something different. Can I help you get another job or something? You're being a friend and you want to, like, how can I help you do something? Do you want to start a business or whatever? And they're not doing any of that or wanting to do any of that. They just want to complain about their job. And I get it because I'm a chick, and I'm sure that I have been in this place at some point myself. Before people were talking about, needing to protect their mental health, you just weren't saying anything. You were just letting them go on, and it was affecting your mental health way back when people weren't talking about it, and the mental health thing wasn't full on in focus for just regular people that were just out here. The folks that we knew that did have issues or what have you, that was having some mental stuff going on. We knew those folks, and we accepted that, and we kind of sort of put it to the side. We didn't like press or push or anything like that. But now, just for the regular folks, yeah, everyone's mental. They need to protect their one. Everyone needs to protect their mental health at all costs, because you and I and the next person need to be in. We need to be 100% and in the best place that we can be daily for ourselves, number one, and for our families. We have daughters and sons, and we need, and of course, we are the role models. They are seeing what we're doing and saying, etc. And I'm not saying in every case. Yes, we are going to have moments where we are going to break down, where we are going to lose our stuff, if you get what it is that I am saying. And then your children will get it, because you're going to talk to your children afterwards. And this is age appropriate. If your kid is 17 and maybe they've seen this before, they're like, okay, mom is having a moment. I get it. I understand, etc. And then hopefully they'll come and ask you, hey, mom, what's going on? How can I help you with something? Because they've seen it before. Yes, that is just what was happening. I kind of turned the other cheek. Now I block off. Your block ministry. Yes, we have a way to turn it off. We don't have to communicate with you, block them, put them in a timeout, whatever it is that we need to do to protect our mental health, because, whoo. And I know, and for some women, once they get to be a certain age, you may have your friend group already, and then people, for whatever reason, they die, they fall off from out of the major friend group or the big friend group, etc. And then sometimes you may just find that it's just you, or you and two or three other folks, what have you, that you are, that you have a good relation with. They are your friends. They are the people that you associate with, possibly talk to about any and everything, etc. And that is it. Excellent words. The time out. Yes. and they're your friend group. And if it's just two or three or four of you, then everyone needs to be on the same page, especially when you get to be a certain age. Like, okay, we're not 20, 22, or 25, or even 30 or 35. We've been there, we've done that, and this is not the time for that. This is the time for us to get in the best mental health that we can, the best physical health that we can, and everything else, and just live a good rest of our lives for the remaining parts. No time to be caught up in drama and what have you. A lot of people have, did the kids, they're over that, they're done with that, or almost done with it, etc. And like, you don't have time for drama. Like, okay, and not to say that this is everyone's case, that they had the kids and now the kids are gone, etc. And now they can just be at peace with themselves, and they don't have all of that, because you may have the grandchildren, and your kids, you are still the parent, and your kids may need you here and there, etc. But for the most part, they're not coming to say, mom, I need to borrow $35. Hey, mom, hey, dad, mom, like that, and can I come back? A lot of people aren't having that, but a lot of people are, and I get it. And that's for them to deal with, and share it on YouTube, so so the folks that haven't gone through that can know what to do, have a few pointers in case that happens to them, because you never know. One never knows. But other than that, I mean, if you're 50 or past, you're trying to live the next few years of your life kind of as stress-free as possible, and you don't need your friends, the one that you have shared things with over the years, etc., getting it to you. I told my cousin the other day, I didn't turn 50 to get caught up in drama block. They're in the time out. I hear you. Whoo. Yeah, I am by myself most of the time. I have a girlfriend in Florida, down there where you're at, and in not in the same place, but in Florida itself, the state, and in Georgia. And I talk to them ever so often, ever so often. And yeah, no drama. No one has time for that. And then at a certain age, trying to, I'm not, trying to get out here and, make friends and all this other stuff because I'm just trying to get the husband. He's a handful. I'm just kidding, just kidding. You know how they can be. They can be, but yeah, it's just me and him most of the time. So yeah, no time for drama, no time for people messing with your mental health. And I know you never got a young lady, your daughter, I think her name is Kayla, that's in school, and you're making sure that she's good to go, and the next one on deck that's going to be 18 and and out here voting, participating in electoral politics, and doing a whole host of other stuff. Girls, you don't got time for any drama. That's going to be enough in your life as it is. As it is. My peace, yes. Your peace of mind is everything, and hopefully everyone's peace of mind is everything. Is everything. When I was on your thing, Netta, when you were talking to, because you are a nurse, and the one young lady that was on there, I was like, oh, that'd be good for you to do, Netta. In my brain, I was saying that'd be good for you to do, Netta. Like for a topic or something. You come in and talk about, health and wellness or something or another. Pick a particular topic or something like that. I think that would be something, good to hear from, to hear information about what we can do and some of the signs to look out for, some of the things that happen with women of a particular age, or just, it could happen to anyone at any time, because any of these things can happen to anyone at a particular time. But yeah, like the gardening stuff too. But while you were talking and trying to assist that young lady, telling her to, get to the hospital and, doctor's appointment, make a doctor's appointment to check it. So I'm like, oh, that would be something good for Netta to do. Look at me trying to push something almost out like you don't get it. Don't block me, Netta. Netta said, I'll keep that in mind. Yeah, because talking about the vitamin D and all that good stuff, and that apple, and growing your own food. Yeah, that's key. That is key. But yeah, that when you came on talking about that apple today, oh my goodness. That is something. That is something. We have to be careful about what we're, putting in our bodies and all the other stuff. Stop snacking, Wanda. I need to stop. I need to stop. Makes absolutely uh, 3 steps ahead, 25 steps back for me. But yeah, of course, most of us, that apple, threw you for a loop. Yeah, me too. Like, wow. Wow, if you pull back the skin, took the skin off, it would have been probably perfectly fine inside because you was hitting it and it was hard. We have to be careful about what it is that we're putting in our bodies. But yeah, and I get it. And I was watching one of these little inflation rants uh, here on YouTube, and the guy was talking about he had bought something. It cost like $67 and some change, and it was like 2 things of raspberries, 2 things of some blueberries, some raspberries, some blackberries, and a few other things, but it was all healthy. Whatever was $67, and he said he could have had a whole table full of processed food, et cetera, et cetera. And but yeah, then you don't know what's going into your body and all this other stuff. At present, for a lot of us, it is what it is. We have to buy the stuff that is in the stores, but we can slowly and gradually move away from some of the things by, of course, what the gardening community has been doing for millennia, and the gardening community here on YouTube is teaching and telling us you can grow your own food, and like you mentioned that you're going to do, that is try to each day have one meal from the harvest that you have in your garden, which is a great idea, which is a great idea. But yeah, just interesting. Speak up, and speak up for yourself. Speak up for yourself. And and back to the political thing. Um, a lot of these, just like Chicago and New York and maybe other places also too, but these are the ones that I hear about a lot. The people there that share my reflection, the black people there, they're not having any of that, any of it. They're trying to do everything that they can. They're out here protesting and showing up in news, doing things on YouTube, getting the word out there that, hey, this is not sustainable, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, people will make their voices known. And that is good, but we got to get some policy. We got to get some policies. But yeah, it's a whole it's a whole big something. But all the time we need to speak up and speak up for ourselves, and of course teach our children how to speak up for themselves because we won't be with them 24/7. And if your child goes to school at 5 or 6, whether it's public or private, charter, whatever it is that you're doing, unless you're homeschooling them, they're going to need to know how to speak up for themselves and how to not be a tattletale, but to say, this or that or the other happened because we don't want things happening, at school or what have you, and you not know about something, and it goes bad. Yeah, but yeah, we got to teach our kids to speak up and to speak up for themselves at all times, at all cost. Yeah, I'm going to get off. I'm going to get off here. I think I ranted enough, and I didn't get to the financial thing that I wanted to talk about. But that's okay. That's for another time. Oh yeah, I'm getting ready to go. What are you having for dinner? Great content. Thanks for sharing and supporting. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Enjoy it. Can't wait to see another one of your budgeting videos. Y'all, please make sure you go and check out Netta's Nest. Netta's Nest. She's over there gardening and talking about bad apples. I'm just kidding. And talking about, she's in the gardening community. She's growing her own food, and today she did a live, and I highly encourage you to go over there and check it out. It was great. It was great. I was there for it. But yes, go check her out. And she also she does more on her Netta's Nest channel, so go check it out. She does have another channel, Netta Can Budget. That's where I know her from originally. She's in the budgeting community also. But Netta's Nest, go and check her out. Go and check her out. I'm going to get off of here, folks. Thanks for coming by. Thanks for coming by. I do appreciate it. And don't forget to always speak up and speak up for yourself. And of course, pass that on to your children. Make sure that they do that for themselves, because this is a crazy world that we have out here. It is a different world than where I come from and a whole lot of other folks. But yes, take care and have a great rest of your day, folks. Bye bye.